everyone, this is Harisha from H&B Premier Tax and Accounting LLC. Welcome to another episode of Tax and Personal Finance with Harisha. So today I'm going to talk to you about a very interesting subject. This comes up every year. So IRS has $1.3 billion, it's with a B, like a big amount of money sitting in the IRS that people did not claim as, their refunds. So these are, related to 2017 tax returns. If you do not claim these refunds before May 17th, they go back to IRS. So today I'm going to talk about how you could, claim these refunds. If you are one of those, that still did not file 2017 tax returns, and stay tuned, and then I'll cover, all the details. So before I get into the video, I just want to share two things happened last week that made me very, very happy. One of them is I got a call from a new client, and then I asked him, how did he find us, our firm? So he said he found one of our videos like this on a Facebook group where I explain how to get stimulus checks or the SBA benefits during the pandemic. So and then he came, and then I was able to help him to get a paycheck protection program loan for his real estate business. And then that he was very, very happy, and then I was happy because I spent a lot of time doing these videos, preparing for them and recording them, editing them, all of that. And then ultimately when I know that this stuff helps some people, that makes me really, really happy. So that tells me we need to get this information out there, and then let other people know. So if you know someone that could benefit from this information, please do me a favor. Give a like, thumbs up for this video, give a like, so the YouTube could recommend this to other people. And also, if you are already not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe and then share this to other people. That will be a great help for our channel, and then also at the same time you will be helping someone else. Now so let's get to this topic. So a lot of people when they work in a job, the way the tax system works is you pay taxes in advance, and then at the end of the year you file a tax return, and then most people get a tax refund. Some people end up paying money, they will have a balance to be paid, but in most cases people get a refund, right? So for IRS to issue you a refund, you have to file a tax return and then tell IRS, the entire picture of, your tax liability. So then they will determine the amount that you pay to IRS, through your withholding, through estimated taxes and all of that, is more than what you owe to IRS or less than what you owe to IRS, right? So if it is more than what you owe to IRS, then IRS has to pay back the excess, funds that you pay to IRS throughout the year. Now, for this to happen, you have to file a tax return. So if you don't file a tax return, IRS don't know whether you owe money to IRS or whether you're supposed to get a refund. There's a time limitation of, how long you could, able to, claim a refund. So generally this time limitation is the 3 years from the filing due date, or 2 years from the date that you made the payment. So whichever comes later, so during that time you have to file a return and claim a refund to get your money back from the IRS, right? So now, for example, let's say for 2017 tax year, your original tax return was supposed to be filed on April 15, 2017. Now, if you did not file the tax return on that date or before, right, so you have 3 years to file the tax return. So original 3 years was supposed to be April 15, 2021. But one thing, special this year is IRS, extended, 1 month, their filing, deadline to May 17. So because of that, this 3 year period is considered to be completing on May 17th, 2021. So, and also, let's say someone file an extension, in 2017, which means they were supposed to file their tax return in April 15, 2017, but instead of filing the tax return on April 15th or before, they requested an extension to file the tax return for 6 months extension, and then they extended actual filing date to October 15th. So now, if you extended your filing date to October 15th and then file the tax return on October 15th, you will have time until October 15th, 2021 to get your unclaimed refund, from the IRS that's relating to 2017. But let's say you file an extension on April 15th and you did not file the tax return, but you filed the tax return on June 30th, right? June 30th, 2017. So then you will not have time to claim the refund until October 15th, 2021. You will have time only until June 30th, 2021, if there's any refund that you needed to be claimed. How would that be possible? If you file your tax return already in 2017, it could be possible where you file the return and then there's an error in the return that you need to amend it, and then claim additional money from the IRS. So then you will have 3 years time to do from the date that you file that tax return. All right. So now let's look at some statistics. According to IRS, estimated 1.3 million taxpayers did not file the tax return in 2017. So how is that possible? It is possible because I come across these situations where I get kids that work in summer jobs, right? So they make $5,000-$6,000 and they don't have a lot of withholding taxes paid. Would be probably $100-$200, right? So they technically they are not required to file a tax return because they are below the filing threshold. Now, but they already paid the withholding taxes to IRS. So if they do file a tax return, right? So whatever the withholding that they paid, they will get it back. But the problem is, if they go to a professional or CPA to do the tax return, sometimes it will cost them more money to actually file the tax return than the refund that they're getting. So economically, it's not advantageous for them to file it if they have to pay for a professional to prepare their tax return. So I have seen a lot of situations like that. Apart from that, there are other situations. People just don't know whether they're going to get a refund or whether they're going to owe money. They just afraid, and then they just procrastinate. They don't file tax return. I have seen many situations where people say oh, I'm afraid to file my tax return, and then they just literally don't file the tax return, right? So whatever the reason is, 1.3 million people did not file the tax returns for 2017 that was supposed to get a refund. Now, based on that, what is going to be the average, refund amount, on these, most of these, situations is $865. That's a lot of money, $865, right? That's the average. So that means there are some people will get more money than the $865. So, and also when you don't file a tax return, it's not only that you're not going to get your refund, there are other, tax credits that you're not going to get either. Earned income tax credit. A lot of people that don't make, a lot of money, so they qualify for earned income tax credit. So, I, did another video about, earned income tax credit or, these other credits. So I'm going to leave some links to those videos. You could check them out. So what does that mean? That means if you earn a certain amount of money below a certain income limit, right? IRS will give you more money out of their pocket because you did not make much money. So that's earned income tax credit. And then also you could claim child tax credit or additional child tax credit. Meaning if you have certain income limit, and then you have dependent children, so you could get a credit, and then also IRS will give you a refundable credit on that. And then same thing with education credits like American Opportunity credits, that has a refundable portion. So even if you don't have a tax liability, you could get some money back from the IRS. But for you to get any of these credits, you have to file a tax return. If you don't file a tax return, IRS does not know how to process these refunds. So that's why it's very, very important that if you did not file 2017 tax returns, you hurry up and then file that tax return before May 17th, right? So why people don't file some of these tax return sometimes because they don't get their documents properly on time, right? So you need if you work on a job, you need a W-2. If you have interest income, you need to get your 1099 INT. If you have brokerage accounts, dividend income, you need to get your 1099 DIV, these kind of forms. Now if you don't and also if you have a mortgage, you need to get 1098 forms, all of those things, right? So if you don't have these documents, what are your what are the ways that you could get these documents? One of the ways that you could get these documents is to get in touch with your former employer. So call the company and tell them, hey, I don't have my W-2 for 2017. Can you email me a copy, or can you fax me a copy, mail me a copy, however you get it, right? So they will verify your information and they will happily give it to you, because most companies keep these records digitally this day and age. So it's easy for them to retrieve it and give it to you. And if you have interest income, you could call a bank and then ask them, okay, can I get this information? Or you could go online and download this information, okay? And if you cannot get it from the issuer or the provider, you could get in touch with the IRS and then request wage and income transcript document. IRS has transcript, all these forms, W-2s, 1099s, 1098s, all these forms, when they get issued, one copy goes to IRS, and then IRS track those transaction or the information under your file. So if you go to IRS and tell them, okay, please give me my wage and income transcript, they could pull out a report. It will show all the details of your income earned from various ways, such as W-2s, 1099s, 1098s, all of those details, right? So you could get this wage and income, a document which will provide you, enough information to file the tax return. And then if you don't get a big refund, so what you could do is go to IRS. IRS has the free file sections. When you go to free file section, if your income is below a certain limit, IRS provides you a software that you could file your taxes for free. You don't have to pay anyone. But if you are in a situation where you think you're going to get a larger refund, it's always advisable to work with an accountant, attorney, or an advisor, where they could help you a lot to navigate this kind of situation. And then also, not only that, if you work with someone to get on track for 2017 filing, so most probably I'm sure you're behind on 2018 and 19 and 20 filings as well. So someone like that could help you expedite your filings for the other years also. Now this is the money that's sitting with the IRS. You have to claim this money before May 17th for most people. If you don't, they are going to go back to the Treasury as excess payments, and then you will never be able to claim them. Even if you go ahead and file a tax return after these dates, they will not be applied to another year towards your account. It will be totally gone. So please do me a favor. So if you know someone that did not file a 2017 tax return, right? So talk to them, or at least share this video with them, and then help them file a tax return and get this money. IRS honestly wants to distribute this money to people that who are supposed to get this money, right? It's not their intention to keep this money and then send it back to the Treasury. No, they actually wants to give this money to the owners, or like people that actually owns this own these refunds. But if you don't do your part, if you don't file a tax return, there's no way for them to know how much to send and who to send, right? So if you listen this far, I'm going to leave you another video here that I explain the 1040 formula, which explain how a tax return works, and then how you could go and fill out your tax return. And then also I'm going to leave you a link to another video here about the stimulus checks, third stimulus checks, and then how to maximize your third stimulus checks. So if you did not file your 2020 tax return and you did not file a 2019 tax return, so you need to go ahead and file your 2020 tax return to get your third stimulus check. So check out this video, and if you like this kind of content, please share it and subscribe to our channel. Until I see you in the next video, take care of one another, stay safe.